Okay. That was some freaking rift, by the way. That was this. That was this. Overthinker. Family Jewels. Jules Conroy. It's good. Very good. Quite good. I'm really happy to be working with Jules yet again on a thing. Not that I'm like working directly, but I am not weighing in on his music that much. And by that much, I mean at all. But whenever a new one lands in the old Google Drive folder, it's pretty exciting. It's very fun just to be like, what's it gonna be this time? Hope everyone had a relaxing holiday break. Mine was relatively relaxing. Family time stuff, you know, so it's like equal parts vacation and work. But yeah, worthwhile for sure. Had a good time. And now we're back for more of this year. I imagine we're gonna keep going for the time being. We have at least up until, well, kind of. We had to reschedule during the break, and I couldn't really get another person slotted in before now. So we got Georgio today. Georgio audio. It's right there. Is it like G both times? Georgio is my assumption. Let me know. I see you in the chat there. First time chatter. What's up, pal? Good to see you. We're gonna do a classic full stream of only you. What is happening here? It's crazy. It's like when I touch things, it's like, whoa. Only these buttons. Like and the video itself. Curious. It's like George. But with EO at the end? Georgio? Giorgio. Not Giorgio. Giorgio? Not Georgios. There's no way it's Georgios, right? Is it Georgios? Giorgio. Okay. I assumed you're writing iOS, assuming I knew how to say that. Georgia. As I had illustrated it, I can say that correctly, so. Lol Enigmatic. Hello. Happy New Year. I'm gonna pause this one here and turn on a track that came across, well, my desk, not my desk. It came into my life over the break. It's a Hades cover by Premium Vintage. I'm playing it. I'm doing it. I'm gonna link this in the chat too because it's nuts. It's so good. It's just crazy good. So basically, as some of you may be aware, so Power Up Audio, as a company, we did Summer Games Done Quick for 5 years. So we were on site as sponsors, donating our time to the event, yeah? And the final year, I mean, each year you were there, we tried to make like little improvements to the stream, because year one was like, what even is this beast of an event? Can we do this at all, you know? It's too good. And then year two was like, all right, we got this. Now let's do like, you know, let's shoot the room. Let's get some EQ going on. Maybe some recommendation. We'll get some headsets for each of the commentators as opposed to like a mic near the couch. And then year three was like, oh, let's let's start improving headphone mixes, and like actually we can ask every commentator and every runner like what they want to be hearing. Do you want to hear their own voices? Do you want to hear like more or less of their buddies on the couch? It's like each year we're trying to like build on the previous year and just do it better, right? For the viewers at home. I mean, locally on site, because I mean, it only stands to reason that if the runners are more comfortable, it's going to lead to a better show, right? So, in the final year, though, we had the idea of, I mean, every year prior to that, I mean, every year of GDQ, there has been downtime between each run where they're doing setup for the next run or whatever, and sometimes it's a bit lengthy. If there's like 4 runners and it's a race, or if there's even like different gear to like, it's like a N64 like running against like a, I don't know, GameCube or something, like you gotta figure it all out. And so tracks like this play in between. But the thing is, not like this until 2019, because previously all there was Matt Merkel, Cool Matty, the director of operations, I think his title is, or president, I'm not sure. He's one of the heads of GDQ. He has a massive library of video game music, and it's all like classic stuff. But it'd been kind of the same for many, many years. And what it led to is like, there's a GoldenEye run coming up next, and here's like some music from Crash Bandicoot or whatever. It just had no real relevance. So we figured, you know what, this year we're going to try and not only have soundtracks available for each game, but also, why don't we reach out to the community and get like fan remixes, fan covers of tracks, because this is a very, very community-driven event. Like GDQ is so community-driven. It's zero without community, right? So why not embrace community music as well, you know? Why not? And we got so many submissions. OC Remix, what's the name? Dark Sword, I think their handle is. Sent in, not only sent in, like curated all the tracks that were relevant to the GDQ schedule and sent in all those tracks in a zip. Game Chops, like Cutman at Game Chops, sent in all of their stuff, their entire library. Pixel Mixer sent in their library. Triforce Quartet and Game Brass, like all these folks came out of the woodwork and sent their stuff in. I'm playing it again. It's just too good. The Bandcamp would let me. I haven't purchased it here. So we got all these tracks, and others, like just people sent in like, here's this one cover I did that one time. Like, I am a accountant in my life, and I just love music and made this like post-rock cover of a Celeste track or whatever, right? And we played those out too, and it was so cool seeing these videos that have like 40 views jump to like 20,000 views, because they have all these viewers on GDQ, right? So, went really well. All that is to say, this year, we're not there sponsoring again. Look, we're probably not going to sponsor GDQ again for the foreseeable future, just for various reasons. No bad blood whatsoever, just like scheduling stuff, basically. But I'm going to be there. I'm going to be at GDQ as like a tiny vacation, and also because Tunic is the first run of the event, which is very, very exciting. So I'll be on the couch backing up Radicoon for that run. Pretty excited about that. Very excited about that. It's going to be very good. I haven't watched the run in a long time, so I'm not entirely sure what that's going to look like. And Matt Sexton, what's up, pal? Yeah, Matt Sexton, one of the people who have sent in stuff for this GDQ. There's the segue. So I'm going to be there. I hit up Chris Hannell, who handles all the, I think, technical director at with GDQ stuff, with support class. Handles all the overlay stuff, so transitions between like X and Y and Z, and even things like making sure that it reads from the MP3 data to put the track info on the stream, so people know whose like track this is or what track this is. All this stuff. Talked to Chris, talked to Matt, and I was like, hey, I'm gonna be there. Why don't we just do a little push, just as a bit of like volunteer work, basically. And so we've done that. We have like 300, almost 400 tracks now from various folks who have sent in their music. One of them is this one. The thing about tracks like this is it's tough to play vocal tracks during the stream, because the donation readers are like, We have a $100 donation from whoever in wherever, and they say this. And so they can't be competing with In the Blood featuring Lacey Johnson and Katie Scary. They can't do that. But in the first half hour of the stream, there is nothing. It's just a countdown. So I've queued up a half hour of bangers as we did in 2019 as well. We have like the first half hour set list of sorts as an intro to GDQ. So if you're gonna watch GDQ, watch it at minute 1 because the first half hour is gonna be great music. It's gonna be worth just turning it on and doing some dishes, you know? Just get some chores done while you wait for the stream to begin. And that's gonna be, I think it starts Sunday whatever the Sunday is, mid-January, like the 15th, 14th, 16th, something like that. I'm not sure. I should know, but I don't. Apologies. How good is this, though, right? What a joy to get these tracks in and be like, well, this is a serious banger. I can't wait to share this track with like many tens, if not hundreds of thousands of people. Thrilled. Yeah, I don't think I'll be in direct control of the radio because I'm not really a volunteer technically on site. I'm just sort of helping out ahead of time. But I can at least push for certain tracks to be played. Okay, shall we jump into Georgio, though? We are here for real talk. We are... I'll put some more time to you. Let's go. It's so good. Real talk is a little stream we've been doing for a while now, since, what, 2016? Jeez. 8 years. 8 years of looking at demo reels from various up-and-comers. I was just playing Alan Wake 2 for the last little while. And senior sound on that one is Josh Adam Bell, who we very frequently reference on this stream as far as having a killer website. Still, I mean, the guy doesn't need it at this point. He's got crazy credits and everyone knows who he is. But there was a day, there was a time at which he did not have a job, believe it or not. And it's pretty sick to look back to Josh being on Real Talk. Although in his case, we gave him basically no advice. There was like no actionable advice. We're always saying like we're happy to help how we can for anyone who, you know, sends us stuff in. We would never take credit for someone getting a job, but we're very happy to just offer our perspective and maybe just point them in a certain direction here and there and say, hey, have you considered this, right? And if that leads to them finding work, then amazing. Of course, we're thrilled for them. In Josh's case, he just rolled in and I was like, yeah, it's good. You're good, man. And then he was working at Cloud Imperium like the next week. So that makes sense. Alan Wake 2, by the way, damn, that game sounds good. Phenomenal. So good. And I think the talks are public now. Maybe I'll not say that for the time being, but I think there's an Alan Wake 2 talk at GDC. I'm not sure if it's public, but maybe. We are going to be looking at one reel today because we had one, for anyone trickling in, I mentioned previously, we had one person cancel or like postpone to a later date. And that happened over the break, and I was not in a position to be rescheduling stuff, so we're stuck with Georgio only today, which is fine because I often feel like we're rushing through stuff with two. It's a me problem. I'd spend too much time on stuff and rant too long, and I'm too verbose and so forth. But we are looking at Georgakis today. That is a Greek name, right? Isn't that like from Crete? Georgakis? I think that's right. I recall something in my brain says Akis is like a Cretan. Is that a thing? It's a Crete name. Maybe I'm wrong. We'll see. Albanic says Bazinga Boy. Perhaps I'm wrong. It's entirely possible. But in the chat, we have Chill Joys. First time here. First chat of the year. I'm not from Crete, but it is from Crete. Okay, fair enough. The name's from Crete, but not the person. Originally from Athens, Greece. Cool, cool, cool. Okay, we can just jump right in here. We're going to be looking at a few things on George's reel today. Well, on the website on the whole. Here's the criteria down below. If you're unfamiliar, I'm sure many of you are well aware in the chat. As I was saying, we got freaking Natasha. Happy New Year, everyone. Yes. Jovertones. My brother Dognet. We got Enigmatic. We got Matt Sexton, as I said, of course. And, oh, Lol, you're Quan. What's up, pal? Celeste Player Extraordinaire. Lol Enigmatic. Okay, fair enough. I thought I knew your handle from somewhere. I couldn't place it, though. Shigans, Turi, Anthony, how you doing? Good. Where is SGDQ? So SGDQ, there's 2 events per year, Games Done Quick-wise. We're bouncing around a lot, I realize here. I recognize we're bouncing around, I apologize. But SGDQ happens typically in like Minneapolis, typically. And that's of course the summer event, Summer Games Done Quick, happening June, July-ish. And then Awesome Games Done Quick, which is the one coming up soon, has happened kind of all over. It was happening in Florida for a while. Happening, I think was it DC or something? I can't recall. Somewhere in that neck of the woods for a while too. It's been happening for like a decade plus, right? So it kind of jumps around, but it was happening in Florida for a while. But it was moved from Florida because of like LGBTQ plus intolerance stuff, sadly. So now it's in Pittsburgh instead this year, which I think is the first time it's been in Pittsburgh. But yeah. Anyways, second show, Yanni Caldas. What's up, pal? It's Paracha. Hello, people. Happy New Year. Purple 8. Happy New Year. Yes. Bazinga says nice beard, by the way. Thank you. Appreciate that. It's pretty coiffed today. It's feeling very round. Thank you. We are looking at Georgio. We're looking at a few things. Presentation down below. That is the website in general. General layout stuff. Can we find our way around? Is there enough information? Is there too much information? Is there some semblance of brand identity? It's always good to see. The big one, just simply, if I need to find something, can I get there and does it exist? Those are the big ones for sure. But for the Reels presentation, that's the one up here, Game Sound Design Reel. How long is it? It's 57 seconds long. Nice. The 1 minute mark is usually the sweet spot. So we'll see if that feels good. Feels too short, feels too long. We're going to look at if there's splashes, like bookends in the front and back, front and or back. We'll look at the transitions between clips, the general flow of clips, titling, so we can see what these clips are, all that stuff, kind of everything besides the content itself. And then for material selection, our second criteria, we're looking at what pieces have been selected, have been chosen to appear in the demo reel and perhaps in the portfolio content down below, and what those various pieces might just suggest to us about what Georgio is looking to be doing one day, ambitions-wise, what Georgio's past work history looks like and skill sets. It's kind of thing where if we watch this on mute, what could we learn? That kind of thing, you know? And the third thing, content quality. Of course, now we're digging into how does this stuff sound? Is there room to improve? There probably is. I know my stuff certainly has room to improve. A lot of room to improve, oftentimes. So we'll dive into things like balance and panorama and frequency range and dynamics and dimension and interest and where there might be room to, push your comfort zone a little more. Getting in. Hey, Jonah. Good to see you. The fourth thing, the last thing, distinction. It's kind of a culmination of everything preceding this. Just simply, are you standing out in some positive way? And it could be that your content quality is just really, really lacking. It's possible. It could be there's a lot of room to grow. But maybe the website is just so slick. So slick. Everything's organized perfectly. There is like a strong, strong sense of brand identity and just creative direction for the website itself that speaks to so much. It's like, if I can see this person clearly has an idea of what a focused creative direction is, and their sound is lacking, I almost prefer that person over someone who's got solid sound, but their site's a mess. Because I can teach the sound part, but I can't teach like vision. I can't teach, I mean, not as well, at least, not as easily. It's harder to like kind of bring that to somebody, right? In my opinion, at least. So if I can see someone's like really got a good idea of how to present something as a package, I mean, a game, a piece of media is a package, right? So being able to say, hey, listen, your explosion in this game it's not working so far, champ, but let's do some work and get that up to snuff. And I know they're going to be understanding why that is, that we need to bring everything to a focused vision, right? Goes a long way. So even in that sense, it could be like, oh, we're not going to hire you yet, but I am absolutely going to keep an eye on you or recommend you to people looking for junior employees or whatever, right? So the distinction thing is kind of a yes or no. It's like, are you sending out or not? Because yeah, so many people want these jobs, hundreds of people, and even more so with all the layoffs happening still in the industry. So it's damn important. It is paramount to be standing out, at least in some way. So shall we jump into it? And by the way, yes, my name's Kevin Regimi. I'm creative director at Power Up Audio. This is Real Talk 2024. How exciting. Are you excited? I think the chat seems excited. So far, it seems like we're excited. Bjorn, good to see you, pal. I know Bjorn's excited. I know that much. Okay, here we are. GeorgioAudio.com. We got a thing in the corner. It looks like a logo. Is it a logo? Does it go to where we already are? It goes where we are. It does nothing. We got game sound design reel. It keeps glitching out. Seems to be intentional and or... Oh. I gotta like move onto it fully. I can't... Oh, I see. The pane is here. I was saying this. This is part of the Vimeo pane, I think. Right? It's like a widescreen image. I was thinking that the video ended where the boundaries of the light part were, but no. Just when I touch the video widget, the game sound thing freaks out. I don't know why. We're going to find out. We'll keep going. We have kind of like a techie hacker design thing happening here, right? If I just select what happens. It's like, no, don't select that. We got implementation and about. I assume it just scrolls down, right? Yep. Implementation reels. Carbon Flesh. Sound design and Wise. Unity implementation. Okay, Carbon Flesh is an indie game I've been working on as the sole sound designer. Cool. Good for you. This video shows some brief gameplay and examples of implementation for different parts of the game. The sounds have been implemented using Wise and Unity. So this you can kill off because it says right here, Wise and Unity. Just trim that fat. I've already learned this at the top. You don't need to say it again. You're fine. Kill it off. And the thing is, like, this like is barely worth it. You know, it says it shows some brief gameplay and examples of implementation. I mean, I sure hope it shows that as a implementation reel, you know. But the thing is, we don't know what this video is without clicking it, and just even knowing that much is like a little helpful. But perhaps you could be a little more specific. It can't hurt. Like, what kind of stuff are you gonna show in 3 minutes? Are you showing like occlusion? Are you showing reverb zones? Are you like, what are you gonna show us, right? Like, show such things as blip, blip, and blip. You know, can't hurt. It's a little more. It makes like, this is really nitpicking, you know, Giorgio. But like, if you think about how, I mean, we're always talking about this on Real Talk, like how limited people's time is truly when you're applying to Bungie or wherever, to Remedy. I saw Alan Wake 2 in your list. If you're applying there, they have hundreds and hundreds of applications, and they're spending like a limited number of seconds on your website. You know, seconds. Literally, it might only be seconds. It may not even reach a minute. Like, if your page is not up to snuff, it is completely understandable that they might open your page and in some cases look and be like, okay, no, and close it. Or play your reel, watch 5-10 seconds and be like, okay, no, and close it. It's entirely possible. So those, like, it's not to say that these are mean people. The fact is the quality of other candidates is at such a level that there's no reason to take a risk on people who aren't presented themselves well when they can go with these people and know it's going to work out. So the only reason they go with this person over here is if they're somehow indicating they're a better or less risky choice than this person over here who's already shown to be low risk. So all of that is to say, the seconds on your website are so damn important. So the seconds it took to read this are a complete waste of your time and their time, but your time especially. And then this one, like I was saying, is nitpicking, but like showing, oh, we're talking about X, Y, and Z. Just bullet point those things. I'll be like, oh, cool, and move here right away. Saying it shows some brief gameplay, I assume it would, yes, and examples of implementation. Like, yes, we're in this section of your site, you know? So there's just no harm in going a little bit more detailed on your bullet points. Cannot hurt. Next up, abandoned hospital breakdown. Sound design and Unreal 5 implementation. This video breaks down my implementation for yes, we know. Abandoned hospital map in UE5. Okay, so yes, we know that already. I talk about how I use sound cues. Here we go. How I use sound cues and blueprints to implement sound such as ambient, source loops, and area loops. Yeah, now we're talking. Further, I show how I used audio volumes, sequences, animations, and systems to enhance the gameplay experience. Like, this is way, way, way better. Because if I'm taking the time to read these sentences, like, I'm actually learning something now, right? Awesome. Yeah, so just make this more like this, although kill off this for sentence. And you can probably be a bit more edited down like I talk about, you know? This video covers sound cues and blueprints. You know? Like, you can be a little more concise. Okay, moving in. Benjamis Prime. Hey, Ben. Happy New Year, pal. Abandoned hospital gameplay. Again, UE5, yeah. So using the abandoned hospital demo level in Unreal Engine, I implemented my sounds from ambience to interactions using Unreal Engine's native tools such as sound cues and blueprints. Okay. Further, I have also modified the level to add more interactions and enhance the gameplay experience. You just said that up above. These changes vary from item collection to light changes to moving sounds using sequencers. Cool. And again, this is like, we know it's a gameplay example. And don't feel like you need to. I suspect that you're feeling like maybe 2 sentences isn't enough, or, you know, this text, if it's only like this long or like this long, is not enough, and you gotta pad it. You don't have to pad it. Concise is better. The most important thing is if your stuff is awesome. If it slaps, you know, if your stuff is amazing and sounds great, that's going to be king. And then the text is kind of for context and stuff, you know. So the text is good as a quick glance or to like clarify stuff that might not be obvious about what the hell this even is, you know. Space Journey gameplay, sound design and Fmod, and Unity. Space Journey is a Unity game that I used to demonstrate my Fmod and Unity implementation skills. I mean, yes. This video breaks down all of the different sound sources and audible interactions within the game, okay? Here we go. Welcome, I'm Georgakis, a game audio sound designer based in Leeds, UK, originally from Athens, Greece. Called it, almost. My passion for audio began at an early age when I started playing drums and recording music with friends. I went on to earn a bachelor's degree in music technology and acoustics. During my bachelor's degree, I discovered the magic of sound design, and I got passionate about game audio. This is why I relocated to Leeds and graduated from the Sound and Music for Interactive Games Master's Program at Leeds Beckett University to further explore game audio design and the video game industry. Okay. This is kind of a strange sentence there. To further, it seems like a run-on. I also love connecting with like-minded people, and I regularly attend game industry events such as the Leeds Games Toast, Game Audio Nexus, Game Audio Symposium, or the Develop Conference. Cool. To date, I've been involved with a couple of indie titles such as Carbon Flesh and Selene. Alongside pursuing several personal projects, university assignments, and enthusiastically participating in game jams. Cool. I revel in the creative freedom this field offers, and I love the power of procedural sound to design. As for my preferred tools, I tend to favor Reaper for sound design and Wise for implementation. I am currently looking to join a dynamic audio team to produce great and unique audio experiences. This is a Josh Adam Bell callback right here. A little bit. I like these little bullet lists. I'm a big fan. Loves Remedy. Loves Control. Can't wait for Alan Wake 2. You can play it right now. Apex Legends, Portal 2, Titanfall 2, Amnesia series. Returnal. You can play that one too. And that one. Ghost Runner 2, Outlast Trials. My hobbies: films, skateboarding, concerts, playing drums, sketching. Sweet. And some links. The Mail-To link. Not everyone loves the Mail-To link. It's not the end of the world, but if you have it right there, you might as well just put it in text too. You know. LinkedIn. Great. Let's watch Reel, shall we? I'm stoked. Full screen. We're going to go Chrome volume way up. Let's do it. Turn off my sidechain. Hope my computer doesn't eat it like I was in December. And let's go. Squish went on for so long. Hey, claps. Claps, please. One more of those. Very nice. Very nice. Yeah. We're gonna be able to talk about some pretty like nuanced stuff for this. This is great. Really good. Colin Anderson, what's up, pal? Good to see you in the chat. Hope your break went well. Oregon Freeman is a great handle. Well done. Okay. Sidechain back. Sidechain. Okay. We're gonna turn down a hair. Just a hair. Okay, so first things first, again, our criteria. We're gonna go through a little bit and talk about these. So presentation first. We got a 57-second reel. I feel pretty secure in saying that no one in the chat was like looking at their watch during that reel. I didn't feel like I needed to be jumping ahead. Yeah. Warner, Power Body, hey man. First time here as a viewer. Heard from you guys and other folks. Contacted us. Yeah, sure. Was it via email? Because yeah, we need to catch up a little bit on that stuff. And we're gonna be doing that for the first week of Jan. It's happening right now. But if we don't hit you back by like, I don't know, a week from now, then feel free to hit us up again because something went wrong. I suppose. We're open-ish. Yeah, we're kind of like investigating new contract possibilities and see if we can find some more good fits because some things are finishing up basically. So absolutely, please. So back to real stuff. We've got presentation first, 57 seconds. We got really good flow. The end kind of felt rushed, but otherwise I didn't feel like I was being like yanked around or like I was, I don't know, like it was too much of a slog, you know? Yeah, Warner, feel free to just throw that in an email. Now isn't a great time for that. But yeah, looking forward to seeing it later on, okay? Okay, cheers. Intro card, we got. Yeah, I don't hate the opening organ. It's like, I can pause, you know, if I have to. It's all right. I kind of know who it is already, and it is on the quick side-ish, but 2 seconds is plenty. I'm okay with it. Moving on. Titling, though, what we have for titles. We got Batman, Arkham Knight, Rocksteady, sound redesign. This is kind of a strange... well, maybe strange is the wrong word. It's an unconventional orientation of stuff, like formatting. Having sound redesign is like the title. It's typically the case that the name of the project is the title. Excuse me. And then beneath that, it shows what you did, you know? Sound redesign, sound redesign, sound redesign. Not the end of the world, but... The 1, 2... Yeah, it's not the worst thing. We got Svi Sherman in the house also. Nice work, Georgia. Killer. For those somehow unaware, been living under a rock, Svi Sherman is the genius sound designer who pioneered the method. Pioneered it. The method of fading out your titles halfway for the duration of your clip. There it goes. Genius. Genius. All right, so our first transition hits from Arkham Knight to Returnal. And it's just a quick fade out and a very, well, not a fade actually, it's one of these. It's like a blurry thing. Look at that. Slick. But while it is a slick transition, out of the box transition, it's not really much of a deliberate transition. It's not anything to write home about, you know? Batman drives away and suddenly we have Returnal. It's like, all right. Color-wise is good, like the color of this being dark to dark. Well, dark-ish to dark. And I was focused here, so it's nice that the thing in the next clip is in the same spot in the pane, but beyond that, like, not much. So, carrying on. House mark, climax, sound redesign again. And then we got... Okay, and same thing, just hard cut. Hardish cut. It's like a fade and a hard? What's happening here? Bam. Cuts in hard. So that one didn't have a little washy effect. Why not? Didn't have the... Well, that one did. Or did it? Maybe not. It didn't. Hard cut again. But again, the transition happens just like at what time we're running towards, and I mean, gun into a blast, it's like a... Sonically, it's a good time to transition, I suppose, but same thing, it's not like... Okay, and same thing here, we got a move from... Yeah, so this is why I felt like the end was kind of rushed, because we have this, all these hard cuts, like hard cut, hard cut, hard cut, and then into this, like, blackness. And then, like, nothing really happens in that clip, you know? It's like a whoop, little water phone. not even, just some kind of fade on a thing, and then. And now Dead Island 2 is 2 hits and we're done. So like these 2 clips felt a bit out of place compared to the workload, I guess you might say, like the volume of work, not the loudness of work, but the volume, like the magnitude of the work for this one felt such that these felt out of place. And also, I get this is your game, sound design reel, but we got to see this. Like, what's the story with Carbon Flesh? If you're showing it here, you got to show that in your reel. And it looks like it's high fidelity. What's up? Let's see. We got time.
Hello, my name is Georgios, and this is my
Georgios!
reel
God!
featuring Carbon Flesh.
Apologies. Okay, so this is a problem already here, Georgios. I'm hearing it again. Here we go.
Hello, my name is Georgios, and this is my
Georgios.
reel featuring Carbon Flesh.
All right, so the thing is, you've said right here, this video shows some brief gameplay and examples. So the thing is, I would way prefer, and it seems like you're going to commentate, because you begin to commentate, and then you don't commentate. So I watched this much, and then by the time I hit like 30 seconds, I'm like, what am I watching? You know? Because I came here for implementation, but you haven't shown me anything yet. You're showing me like what the game sounds like, and that's fine and valuable, but I just need to know what I'm getting into. Again, for the same reasons I was outlining earlier, that people have limited time and they want, like, I implore you, I strongly encourage you to allow as much as possible for people to have a targeted experience at your website, you know? So if you have, like I was saying, this covers occlusion and reverb zones or something, and like, sweet, I'm gonna watch that. Done. I love occlusion. I live for occlusion. You know, they can watch the video and it's this bite-sized thing on occlusion. A couple minutes, few minutes, even 6 minutes. If it's really complex and you can commentate it in a way that makes it engaging, great. But in this case, we have a 3-minute video and I watched 30 seconds and I've learned nothing about your implementation yet. And that's a problem. Like, I strongly encourage you to consider when someone rolls into your site and they want to learn something, like, let them learn the thing they want to learn right away, because they have 500 more resumes on their desk, you know? And the last thing you want is them doing this, because now you have lost complete control of the experience they're having on your website. For all you know, they've skipped over like your favorite part, the thing that would have gotten you the job. Like, oh my God, what a sound that was, you know? Who knows? So instead, open up and say this, like, my name is, here's my thing. Check it out. Also, unfortunately, this is, what's that, Arial font? You know? And this is different and has like the weird kind of effect. And then also, this is different. And this is different too. Yeah, this isn't quite the same. Or is it the same font as the one above? Maybe it is. Yeah, I think it is actually, my bad. So this is the same, different kerning, but same font. This is not. So this is now a departure from what you have elsewhere. It cannot hurt to bring it in. You know, this looks the same though. Or is it the same, or just the thumbnail? So that's the same now, but this one is not. No, it is the same. But this part's
Hello.
not. This is now different. You say your name again and what the thing is. Just, it cannot hurt to have just a cohesive style, you know? Bring it all together. But anyway, you begin commentating. So you do comment. So the thing is, you jump to commenting, but where? Because you've seen, like, if I'm here and I'm like, okay, get to it. Get on with it. I skip ahead and now you just lost control of the experience I'm having, which is the last thing you want. So we skip.
Are you a sound?
And there you are, right? Like, this is literally what I guarantee some people will do. I guarantee it.
These are UI sounds for black market, and with Wise I can use random containers and blend containers to procedurally sound design these sounds.
I mean, yes, you can. This is just more of the same thing, Georgios. You just showed us this. You know, this is the same thing again. Or at least close enough. And, okay, so there's a few things to talk about here. So the flow thing is the biggest by a wide margin. You got to deal with how you're presenting this thing as far as, like, from start to finish. Plan it out, storyboard it, you know, like, figure out what you're going to say. Walk us through it. Like, if I were at your home or in your studio space and I was like, yo, how's Carbon Flesh coming along? And you're like, check it out. You like press play on a video and like leave the room? No, you're gonna talk me through the cool things you did. You're gonna say, hey, look, this is I did this really cool thing in Wise. It's Wise, right? Is that right? In Wise, where I've got these like random things in various this A, B, C, D, X, Y, Z. I have all these cool things going on. Check it out. And you'd probably open the Wise session to show me too, because we speak the same language. We're both in audio, right? So you'd open things and show me what you did. So imagine you have, you know, like you have me in your place. You have like a friend in your workspace and you're walking me through the thing. Like that is how you should think of this video. Be like, hey, let me show you this thing I did and walk through it. I can see your mouse moving. I did this thing here. I did this. And then like, sounds like this in game. Cut to gameplay. So we can like, we have context for what we're hearing. Because you say this, was it here or so? Okay, so
sounds. These are UI sounds for black market.
Okay, so you say these are UI sounds for black market. It says right here, black market UI. You can kill this off because you are telling us it's black market UI. You don't need to say it twice. So these are UI sounds for black market, and then you say.
And with Wise, I can use random containers and blend containers to procedurally sound design these sounds.
With Wise, I can use random containers and blend containers to procedurally design these sounds. Like, you are basically reading the Wise documentation, you know? You're just describing what Wise can do. But I don't know what you have going on under the hood in Wise. So you could also just, I mean, I have done it in the past where like I make some stuff like that in a tool like Wise or Fmod, and then I send the output to a different machine and press record, and I press play like 1,000 times in Wise or in Fmod, and now I have a bunch of baked one-shots. I have one-shots that sound like they're procedurally designed, but they are just one-shots. Like that is a way you could do this too. And I would be happy to walk you through how I did that. And I can make a video showing you how I did that, you know? So I'm way more interested in seeing like how this sausage was made as opposed to just seeing what the game sounds like. And on top of that, we already heard what the game sounds like over here, assuming they've watched the whole thing through, you know? Like you got the sounds right here. So just start talking right away. Be like, I used random containers and blend containers in Wise to, or not even that, start with why you did this. Because that's a big part of sound design. Like the whole, I mean, if you've watched Real Talk before, you know I'm huge on storytelling in games and how interactive media is a storytelling medium, first and foremost. And our jobs as sound designers, our job is supporting and driving that narrative. And if you can relate the choices you're making under the hood in Wise or in Unreal or in Unity or in Fmod, if you can relate or justify the choices you're making from a storytelling perspective, tell us why you're doing this, that's going to be so powerful compared to I can do this. And here's what it sounds like. Like, you can do a whole lot of things in Wise, but why are you doing it? And there are storytelling considerations. There are like optimization considerations. There's like performance stuff. So I can do some things in Fmod. I could have a gun in Fmod that has 9 layers in a single event, and it's got like the boom and like the click and the shells and I split the transient into 4 parts. I can do that, but it's a terrible choice because of performance stuff. Like, to use like 9 voices for every gunshot is a crazy choice, and will for sure lead to voice starvation at some point, especially if it's like a rapid firing weapon. So there's like, there are, just saying you can do this is falling way short of how much you could be achieving with a video like this. I'm really not saying all this to be like, you're terrible and you should feel bad. Like, not at all. I think you've done a lot of really great work here. It's just a matter of showing us, actually showing us what you have done and why you have done it. Because at some point you decided, you know what, I'm going to make this UI procedural in game. And you might think that because, you know what, because it'll sound more organic, we'll have more variety over time, it'll lead to a more like engaging experience for the player. They'll feel really like satisfied clicking around this UI. It's a lot of UI in this game, so it's really paramount to make sure that UI feels good. We want to have a certain like character it's like achieved for like a certain palette, so that the black market feels like its own place for this UI. It's like, I mean, I don't know the game. I'm just making stuff up, right? But you could say these things as far as like, these are the goals of the project. And that's creative direction and audio direction. If you establish like, these are the goals of the thing, and I worked out that this feature of Wise would be a great fit to satisfy those goals. And that feature is random containers and blend containers in Wise. And then show us what you did in Wise. Have that window up. Be like, here it is. Check it out. And here it is in game. Sounds awesome, right? Like, that is you telling us a story. And the thing is, like, I'm ranting, I apologize. But like, the thing is, given that video games are such a storytelling medium, I mean, if I'm honest, you are absolutely falling short of effectively telling your story to us right now. Like, as far as the story of the black market UI, that is a story I would love to hear, you know? But the fact is, I'm doing this. It's like when I'm trying to tell a story in person over drinks, and friends are like, come on, Kevin, get on with it. I'm terrible at that, you know? Because I'm like, I'm moving around too much and I'm losing their attention. It's a problem. But the idea of like, here's a thing, check it out. This is pertinent to your interests. Check this, check that, and now here it is in game. Like, that is going to be a lovely flowchart through, so I can like get context and I can understand what you're doing, and then hear the results in game, and I can see that you have achieved the goals you set out to achieve. That is the biggest thing. Okay, I do want to watch it though, because if there's something here I'm missing, I want to know what it is. Hopefully that all makes sense. Hopefully. And like, which sounds are randomized? All of them? These ones? I mean, it seems like you're showing us you're messing around. Sounds good. And the thing is, this is a challenging situation with so many rollovers side by each. It's tough. Like, we've all dealt with that, where it's a menu with like 15 highlightable things and you're just doing this. It's not easy. You got to find a way to make it sound okay. And yeah, a single mouse over is not going to do it, for sure. Yeah, honestly, I have no idea which sounds across the board are the ones that you're talking about.
For the hacking sound, I recorded some spoons,
Let's go!
some bottles,
Yes!
and some beeps. Adding some choir, this is the final sound.
Like, look at me smiling, man! This is so sick! This is way better!
When the player opens the train window.
Oh, let's go! Yes! We got the spoons, we got the bottles, we got the beeps.
Sound, I recorded some spoons, some bottles,
Barefoot Sellers.
and some
It's
beeps.
BC.
Adding some choir, this is the final sound. When the player opens the train window, external sounds such as the train's engine or wind gain more presence in the game.
Yes? Okay, we heard it once, it's fine. You don't need to show it twice. Okay, so like this section shows some of your process, which is great to see. I love seeing, like, I recorded things. I was creative and did stuff. Like, that's great to see. It doesn't really have the why of it, but that's fine. For like field recording things, for recording stuff and processing, it's like, whatever, it's okay. But then you go back into, I did this. When you do this thing, it does a thing. And it's like, yes, I hear that, but you didn't show us how you achieved that, and you didn't tell us why you did it at all. Why is it important? You know? One sentence, 2 sentences of why it's important just really helps anyone to get a handle on like how you understand the concept of like storytelling in games. Like it's so important, of game development. You face a challenge and then you solve it. You know, it's like that's the process. You got to show us that. Let's see what else you got. Abandoned hospital. This one. See, and here's the thing, Georgios. Like, they're gonna watch this one first, right? And this one will inform their. I mean, they've already learned so much about you and how you present yourself from this video. They've probably skipped through, but I imagine their reaction might be a lot like mine. Like, dude, show us something. Come on, man. And then you get to see your spoons, like, yes, more of that, please. And then you're like back to square one again. So it's like we have about, I don't know, 20% of this reel is like fire, and the rest is kind of dead weight, unfortunately. So now we look at this one, and it's 6.5 minutes long. And my time with my hundreds of resumes to look over is so freaking valuable. It's so hard to find time for a 6-minute video. This is a huge ask. It's not impossible. Like, if this thing is amazing and your bio says like, yep, I'm hireable for these reasons, and your first video is like amazing too, I might justify watching this thing. Like, you know what? No, we are going to be considering Georgios for this position, so I should watch this. But if I've watched this one, I'm just not going to watch this one in its current state, you know? And again, it's kind of maybe like harsh honesty, but it's really important for you to know that. Like this, because again, 20%, if I can assume that's going to be a similar ratio for this one, we're looking at like, what is it, like this to here is the part I want to watch again? Not the whole thing? But let's see. Let's see it.
Hi, I'm Georgios, and in this video, I'll break down how I implemented the sounds into the abandoned hospital level in UE5.
Mm-hmm.
When working on a new project, the first
immediately better. Keep talking.
thing that I like to create is the environment that the player will be in, and in this level we are inside an abandoned hospital. Just by walking around the map, it's easy to spot a few potential sound sources such as the lights, or the heaters. But otherwise, it's a quite static map. To create a more dynamic and interesting environment, I added sounds that don't have a visual representation. These include running water or water drips, distant screams and impacts, flies and other bug sounds, or as I like to call them,
little creepy crawlers.
Okay.
water drips and running water sound cues are placed at sinks around the map. There is also a delay node to randomly add a delay time between the samples and make the sound less
Okay, do you see how we're still watching right now? We are 1:15 in, and I don't mind, I mean, besides that 5 seconds, I don't mind that we're still watching it, you know? This is fine. It's very much like, hey, I'm doing these things for a reason. You walk around, we're looking to fill out the ambience. There's only a couple things visible to make sounds, but that won't be enough. Like, this is great to see your mindset. Like, oh, here's a sink. We could justify some dripping. You know, we don't need to see the water droplets. It's okay. That's fully, like, arguable in a game. Why not? Distant stuff you can't see. That's great for world building. Awesome.
repetitive and less predictable. Also, a second sound cue has been made that uses even shorter delay times to play the samples less frequently and add more variation around the map. Screams and impact sounds use the same logic. An interesting system that I'd like to mention is that impact sounds change location based on the player's location. If the player goes upstairs, then the impacts will be spawning on the bottom floor and vice versa. Flies use a looping sound cue that plays a random sound from a pool of 11 samples and then randomly modulates the volume and the pitch of the sound. By multiplying the system a couple
Annie,
times,
that's probably a good
you can
idea.
get a pretty good and consistent loop of annoying flies. Now the problem is that flies, naturally, are constantly moving around, so we don't want to have a single source point, but we want our flies to move around. For that reason, we linked the sound to a level sequencer and made our sound move around the room so the flies can be even more realistic and annoying. When the player walks through certain corners, a blueprint has been set.
Like, that's such a cool consideration.
For that reason, we linked the sound
To make the
a
fly
level
buzz
sequencer
around?
and made
Love
the
it.
sound move around the room so the flies can be even more realistic and annoying. When the player walks through certain corners, a blueprint has been set to play bug movements or rod squeakings. The weight has been lowered to 0.2, which prevents the sound to be repetitive and annoying, and to add a little bit of more variation, the sound will spawn in a random point around the player's position. Many of the rooms have their own room tones to give them a special feeling and differentiate them as the player moves around the map. However, as the player is existing just on the interior of the hospital, there's a great opportunity to use the exterior as we like in order to set the mood and add to the horror element of the game. To do so, I used rain, wind, and thunder sounds to create a darker atmosphere. Several rain loops were used for different parts of the level in order to add variation, but also give a sense that there are different exterior materials such as dirt, metal, or glass around the hospital. 2 actors have been placed above them.
Do you see how I'm still watching it? Like, I cannot stress this enough, man. This is great.
Map or randomly play thunder sounds to enhance the rainy and dark mode of the game. Also, in some locations, in order to add some more tension and variation, I have added some wind sounds. Although the original level is quite static, I wanted to add some interactions to make the level more interesting, dynamic, and playful.
And again, I almost didn't watch it, right? Like, if I'd watched that first video first, and I wasn't on stream with you right now, I'd be like, all right, close, skip ahead, something. You know, being the first video.
Starting with the doors, I modified every door on the map in order to make them interactable and gave them the ability to be fully open, stuck, or locked. To create the movement, I used level sequencers and the level blueprint to trigger these interactions and play the sounds respectively.
Yeah, the flashing lights are getting to be a bit much
sound design
through the whole video,
in order
but
to give a different variation every time the sound is being triggered. The sound is broken into 4 layers, and every layer has a pool of samples that are randomly played, multiplying our sound variations. More interactions that I have added include picking up items, collision on objects, and triggering sequences.
ship it. Yeah, fun.
Moreover, I made a few simple systems to add some more depth to the level. When the player is hiding at the dark corners of the map, a sub-bass loop and some breathing.
Yeah, collision with that shelf, eh, Joey? Crazy. There's a lot of stuff in this video that is not what most videos like this show. Like, I've never seen that collision bumps. I've never seen the fly being like moved around to be more like a fly. It's cool.
We'll start playing to create some more underlying tension and push the player into more exploring. Next, there's a locked door that only unlocks if the player has found and collected the key. Using a branch node, we check if the player has the key. If they don't, a dialog will let them know that they need to look for the key, and if they do, the door will unlock.
Look around.
Look around.
The key.
To make the player search for the key, a simple dialogue system has been made to let them know that they have to find the key. The first time that the player will interact with a door, the game will tell them that the door is locked. If the player keeps trying to unlock the door, a second dialogue will tell them to look for the key.
I should look around.
10 seconds later.
I should look for a key.
Moreover, individual audio volumes have been created for each room to allow us to have better control over each room's reverberations and occlusion. Different rooms have different reverb settings to match the room size and sound absorption. Last but not least, footstep sounds have been added. Firstly, we created new physical materials for each type of floor that the player may walk on, such as bed,
This is thorough. It's like, this should be the first video of the two of those, yo. Like, I appreciate it's a demo project and not something you're actively working on as your own thing or like with a team. But this is a strong video.
garbage, metal, tile, or wood.
Yeah, right, Bjorn? It's like, this is a lot. Like, my UE5 chops are not amazing, and like, I'm learning stuff here, you know? You're teaching us all something, Georgios.
After that, using the animation blueprint that's being used for walking, we made a simple system that checks the floor using a line change node to play the correct footstep sounds based on the material. So that was it. Thank you so much for watching.
That was a lot. Well done. Pretty cool. So this is gameplay, 3 minutes. You're just walking around, I guess? And then space, oh yeah, this is the other thing too. It breaks down all the different sound sources, audibles, and interactions. Is this just gameplay? Okay, so this stuff, I don't want to read your text. Make all your videos like this one. And it doesn't need to be this long. Like, this length works because it just keeps going through. I mean, yeah, it's tricky because it is a long video, but it's paced really well. I pressed play and I didn't mind watching more. And some of the stuff you did earlier on, I was like, damn, this is pretty cool. What else has he got? You know, and I didn't feel like it was a waste of my time at the end. It's great. Whereas this, I just want to hear you talk through it. I don't want to read your stuff. This is way, 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 way more effective. There is no comparison for this compared to this nonsense text. So much so, I'm not going to watch this. I just don't want to bother. And same thing here. We have just gameplay, I guess. So you're just playing through. the light's so crazy in this demo.
My
project.
hands are still bloody from the heart.
My hands are still bloody from the heart. You don't want a voice act, Georgios? My hands are still bloody, yo. Do it. Just gameplay, okay. So this is just gameplay. This one is not just gameplay. You're showing what you're doing. You know? So this is kind of lying to us. This being just gameplay kind of makes sense because I've watched this. And if I want to see it all in action, I could watch it. This is like your... Yeah, if you want to, here it is. I think most people probably won't. They'll be like, I'm good. I got you. You showed enough what you're doing. I don't need to watch it. But anyway, pretty sick, honestly. This is very good. Very good. I do think your main reel, the reason we scrolled down in the first place is because I was like, why isn't Carbon Flesh in your reel? And I think it probably should be in your reel, if I'm being honest. I mean, you have only sound redesign stuff in your reel. And I'm just, given that in my opinion, the last 15 seconds of your reel are kind of throwaway. You know, you've got a lot of really action-packed stuff, some close combat, some weaponry stuff. The last bit, like this, doesn't really show us more of what you can do. And that really is the angle from which you should be crafting your reel. Like, does this next second communicate to the viewer something new? Does it add a bullet point to their understanding of who I am and what my skills are and what I can bring to the table as a member of your team, you know, of this team? I would argue that this last bit doesn't really tell us much. It's like we have a and a that's it. It's not much. And then this just has more afterwards. And they sound the same as Dead by Daylight. It's the same impact 3 times, you know? So that's also, should it be the same impact? They are horror games, maybe, but anyway. Brie Danielle E, what's up? Good to see you. So let's just talk some content stuff, though. I'm gonna crank this back up. Boom. There we go. Okay, so one of the first things I noticed in your reel was that moment. A couple moments in the first clip, actually. And in the regards to dynamics, I think your dynamics later on in the reel are stronger a little bit, but the first bit is like this. Yeah, I saw Bjorn comment earlier on that it was the pitch down is like, all right, pitch down, sure. At least it's not boo, it was which is better. It's a little better than boo. Only a bit better, but it is better. And then was kind of, all right, fine. But the thing is, this moment, I kind of want to hear this specifically. When this is what's happening in the cinematography, the storyboarding, etc., this is right in our face. I want to hear this. What are we hearing if our ear is against this wheel, you know? If I close my eyes, can I hear us getting closer to the wheel? Like, not really. There's a bit of some scrape and some debris. And here we have these like hard cuts. You're definitely informing a little bit more than what we're seeing. Like there, nothing's really moving yet, you know? Which is maybe okay. But the thing is, panoramically, it's all around us, right? Like we hide this. I press play, like point to where the sound is. Like where the clackety-clack is happening. Like where do you think we are? Where do you think the listener is situated? The camera is situated based upon the sound of this. We're like in the thing. We're inside the car, you know? Like not even in the cab. We're like in the guts of the car right now and hearing it do stuff. So there is that to consider, that we have just your positioning in the world is maybe could use some love. Because the dynamics here visually is we go from nothing to something, to nothing, to something, to nothing, right? So the dynamics of that aurally should probably match. I mean, there's probably some room for some creative liberties there as far as hearing stuff during the darkness. But the thing is, this piece in general is like highly focused. The camera's like, let's look at this. And now let's look at this. And now this thing. And now only this, you know? It's not saying like, look at the Batmobile, it's doing stuff. It's not generalized at all. So your sound design kind of needs to be focused in there. And you have done that to a certain degree, but in terms of really focusing in dynamics-wise, as in bring it way up and then way down and then way up and way down, and focus the sound on specifically what it is we're looking at. We've seen this clip before, and it was the exact same feedback, I think. It was, hey, Sabrina, good to see you. So we have clack to clack to clack. I mean, it may be that we should have sound here. Something's happening. Under the hood, something's like gearing up for a change. We have like some powering up before a change happens, and we have thrusters, or there's like weaponry gearing up, or like what's happening? As a viewer seeing this for the first time, I have no idea what's coming next. So it's your job, again, as a storytelling driven individual. We are supporting and driving the narrative. What is happening narratively? Let's find out. Let's mute this thing and have a watch. We got some movement. We got, oh, what's this now? Something's moving into place, and oh, charging up, and oh, here we go. So it was charging up a freaking booster of some kind. That's pretty cool. That's what was happening the whole time. Charging up a booster. So if we're charging a booster, some thrust. So here, clack to clack to clack all around us doesn't super tell me that. It may be worth putting it more like in the thing, like in the vehicle. You have a little more like internal sound. Some dampening, some powering up of some kind. The next thing is really focused. We have this only. It's like priming, right? Before it goes and powers up. But similar kind of thing. Close your eyes and 3, 2, 1. It's still pretty wide and the thing is, it sounds a lot like that previous part did. You know, it's the same kind of source material. And these two things, like this clip and this clip, are not at all the same visually. In this one, we're seeing nothing happen, but like it's kind of maybe hinting something's going to happen soon, you know? And then this one, oh, now we're seeing something happen. We see we see visually evidence of change. So this probably shouldn't sound just like the previous clip. There's room to be really specific on this thing, you know? Yeah. Yeah. And even like perspective stuff, we're right in the face of this thing. It's right in our face. It's the whole camera. Again, look at this thing, right? So having more like low end here. There's a lot of high end there. We have that kind of high rising Iron Man style thing. And then we're back further away. It's nice L cut, like kind of stuff fade into this clip though, mind you. It's nice. But maybe some more room for indicating distance. It's like that dynamics thing, right? Like bring way up in your face and then bring down when it's far away from you. Just to have that narrative really exaggerated. I mean, Batman's so cranked to 11, right? You can probably afford to also crank things to 11. And then next thing is, this is cool. One thing is the ambience kind of threw me in this clip. It's like kind of like a crumpling, rumbling thing in the background. thunder. And it went on for a long time there. It was like, it was kind of over here, a bit left. And I felt, I recall this on my very first watch. I kind of made a note of it. And I felt like it was pulling my ear a bit compared to what was actually happening in the action. So starting here-ish, you hear that kind of like crackling. Probably end here. Or at least pull it down. Because we've gone into what, like a bit of a cavern or something? I mean, it probably would dampen anyways if you went in here. So, but it's still going. And it's still going. And then it drops off finally. It's a small nuanced thing. It's pretty strong design on the whole, which is why I'm calling out this small thing. But it is what pulled my ear the first time. I love the 1-2 of the jump and boost. Sounds great. The boost might be, I mean, if like our team here designed this and I was given feedback, I might say that the boost could use less like crumpling clothing rustle Foley stuff. Sounds a bit like backpacky, you know? It's like a multi-transient thing. And just for movement in general, I'm always very careful of, this might be a personal thing, but I'm very careful of transient content because like multi-transients heard many, many times can be a little more exhausting, a bit more busy. And for something as frequent as like a jump and dash, it might be better to keep it cleaner. The jump is really clean. And that's, you hear that? It's like do. Even here we hear it twice right away. It's a small nuance thing, but love the pickup. The door is pretty cool. It's fast. Love all that. The big burst. Is maybe huge for how far away it is. I think having like a enemy killed sound that happens regardless, like a psh, so we know we killed the thing, is cool. The is pretty huge for how far it is and stuff. But at the end of the world. And I say that mainly because you've kind of established like how far away it sounds with the vocal content and stuff. You know, it sounds kind of like far away and a bit verbed out and stuff. And then the splattery on the kill sounds quite close and detailed and contoured. So there's a bit of a disconnect there. But otherwise, it sounds cool. Like, ship a lot of those sounds. They're awesome. Yeah. Okay, cool. There's a lot of like really action-packed sound design here. It's like boom, 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 boom. It's moment to moment. There's maybe room to come down in the Foley a little bit in some cases. And not because we don't want to hear that, but because if the Foley is quite loud also, it can serve to weaken the parts that are more impactful and more like action focused, like breaking a neck or throwing a body down. Our player's movement, like after the neck break, like it's like pretty big. Not the end of the world, but like here. Yeah, and here I'm not getting roll. Oh yeah, Yanni says, when the player lands on the ground, it can be here to add some more extra Foley details, like the weapons and gear you're holding. Yeah, because like this is a full roll here, you know? If I close my eyes, it sounds like a landing. Just sounds like I boots on the ground. That's it. Land some snow. And that's it. Yeah. It's not super rolly. Like a can help a lot to get that roll in there. And yeah, hearing the stuff that's on your back can help deliver the idea of a roll as well, right? Moving on. I'm not going to comment on guns because I don't know guns at all. I'm not a guns guy. I would guess that people like Sean Laval would say like, this is monosyllabic, do, you know, as opposed to like a multisyllabic weapon fire, where you have like the trigger and the shot and like the shell and stuff, like various things happening. The aftermath of the shot. I think they sound like pretty juicy, but they're really like, it's like here and then here and then here. There's no, both hands, not like here and here and here. It's like here and stop and here and stop and here and stop. Yeah, no tail, says Vestry Quest. There's not a lot of before or after the shot. I think the shot itself is strong, but could use. Here I'm talking about guns. I don't know guns very well, but anyways, yes. There are people far more qualified than I to give you feedback on guns. But anyways, Dead by Daylight. I've kind of mentioned this already, but yeah, like it's fine. That's a whoosh and a splat. Not much to comment on there. I mean, on the whole, pretty strong, Georgios. The minute here is, I'm happy to watch it. This video is fire. This one is unfortunately kind of regrettable in its current state and could use some serious work. And I saw you were saying you're going to put some work into that. So good. Excellent. I would love to see like this version of this video. I would love to see that. One thing I didn't say is like, be careful, like jokey jokes, like the thing where like creepy crawlies or whatever. Like I didn't get that joke at all. So I was like, all right, moving on. Yeah, just be careful of making like jokey jokes too much. Like the 10 seconds later is maybe on the cusp of being fine. But anything further than that, I'd recommend holding off on the jokes until you've established you are just a consummate professional and you can be trusted and you can be like, you get the idea of a professional presentation before you then start cracking jokes with your new colleagues, you know? Okay. Strong. 133. I'm still going over somehow, even with only one person to talk about. Standing out in a positive way. I mean, I think you're damn close. I think if we had only this video and included some of your personal content and also had this as this style and did some editing here and there, like you got a great foundation here already. You put a lot of, like, obviously you put so much work in with your UE5 chops and your Wise stuff and all the designing here. Like there's so much good work here. Strong. Across the board strong. I think you're like, this might sound rude. I think you're barely standing out, if that makes sense. Like there's enough here that you're worth a look for sure. But it's just now, I love recommending or giving the advice of like, just make yourself impossible to ignore. And that's where, and how you do that is by doing these like various edits, like get this video tightened up, get your brand identity tightened up, get all your text edited, get like, yeah, it's just all these things all add up. And if it's all just tight, then yeah, how is one going to ignore you? It's impossible. So really strong, super strong. You have, I mean, I'd love to be in your position right now because you've got all the work is like done and now it's just putting the time to tweak how you're presenting yourself. So killer. So good, dude. Killer. Eternal Halo. Is this only for game sound design? The reviewing? Yeah, exactly. We do game audio stuff here. Less music, more so on the sound design side of things specifically. Okay, so I'm going to get out of here. I got things to do, places to be and stuff. Of course. Thank you everyone for hanging out. As always, happy to be back for 2024. I hope, again, everyone had a great holiday break, and I hope this year treats you well. Last year was rough for a lot of folks. I hope this year goes better for those affected, certainly. And I will now play this sick track again that you should all hear. Oh, it's like, hey, buy it. I will. I will buy it. It's damn good. Thanks all. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Wait, 2 weeks is GDQ. So I'll see you in 3. I gotta reschedule some stuff. I'll do it. Okay, thanks everyone. See you.